Hey, what is up, guys? Bluntguts here. This is a Watcher Realms video. Thanks so much for tuning into my channel. I really appreciate it. Please do like and subscribe if you do enjoy my content. And I hope you're going to enjoy this because I sure as shit did not. We were up against the guild formerly known as Celestials Eternals. They are going by Celestials Main right now because they like to talk shit using their guild name. They're a beefy guild. First off, I want to say, before I even launch into this, I just want to say I got mad respect for everybody in that guild. You guys put in a lot of work. You guys have some phenomenal rosters. I mean, no question about it. Definitely, I think probably to a man, you all have better rosters than I do. On top of that, I know you put in the work, you put in the time. You guys take this very seriously, and kudos to you. If I had a hat, I would be taking it off to you. Very nicely done, boys. But I want to talk about what I think is just a problem that I was hoping was not going to follow us into season 6, and it seems like it has so far. I went 0-8 today. I'm going to say that up front. I'm not showing you any fights today. That's not what we're doing here. This is me talking about kind of the state of Guild Wars. Oh, I went 0-7. I've still got a match left. Well, I think I'm going to leave that one there, honestly. I feel bad. I know that a lot of the folks in Eternals were excited to have a video made about them. I think I think I'm the only creator that is making GvG videos in Overlord. Sometimes we're in Overlord, so it's hard. They don't get much exposure. They put in so much work. I do feel really bad that I'm not going to be able to show any fights. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I won. I didn't get to this until day 2, and my options for attacking some of these defenses were just vastly diminished. And then 2, I just don't have the BP to attack your defenses, guys. I'm sorry to say the gulf is widened too much. I don't spend on this game. I get a lot of gems. I don't get like fastidious gems or I don't know who else is like War Guides gems or Destined gems or anything like that. But I get supplemented, but I don't actually spend any money on this game anymore. I didn't spend very much to begin with. Certainly not on the level that many of the rosters that are in this guild do. And their accounts show it. I mean, it is intimidating, the defenses that are in there. But in any case, I think the few teams that I did have a shot against were kind of chewed up before I even got to them. And I tried to get going on some of them, but it just wasn't going to happen. And so with work and life stuff going on, I don't have either the time nor the motivation to sit and really just dive into GvG in the way that I did in the earlier seasons. And on top of that, I think the gulf has just widened way too much at this point. The haves versus the have-nots, the spenders versus the free-to-plays, and everybody in between. There is kind of a cut above that occurs somewhere, I'd say probably, certainly in the top 10 of Overlord, but I'd say probably more specifically in the top, like maybe 5 to 7 guilds that are kind of constantly jockeying for position right now. And I'm talking about Immortal Elite. I'm talking about obviously Eternals right here, the Shire, Awakened Chaos. Who am I? There is a Omega is no longer there. They disbanded, so that's not in there, but they certainly would have been in there. And then there is I believe they're a Chinese guild that I don't know their name. Bad News' guild. That's how I know them. But guys, like what I have noticed, and I've been rambling here, so hopefully you stuck with me this long, but what I have noticed over the last, I'd say 2 seasons really, maybe midway through season 4 and on, I think Ingrid was introduced, and kind of from that point forward, when everybody started to get her, it has gone really downhill in GvG. And I'm an Ingrid owner, proud Ingrid owner myself. I'm talking about not being able to beat their defenses. We can look at my defense here. My Nightmare team, I don't have the BP to really run this, honestly. And I didn't build, it like I should have. So that team went 1-3. But my Ingrid team right here, despite having lost 30 health, has gone 6-0 right now. And I'm not going to show you the deployments for any of the other ones, but this is my team right here. Worked out pretty damn well for me, I will say so myself. So I will be running this moving forward for sure. But even with this gap here, we've got a team that I'm running right now at only 430k battle power that is able to stump. I don't know where in the hierarchy Eternals ranks. I would say somewhere between 2 and 5 at least. Probably second or third, I would say, more than likely. Either way, it is a big gulf in between us. So what I did, and I'm not going to show you the specific defenses, but what I did is I went through all of their different strongholds here, and I counted up the different factions that were being used here. And so here is what I found out, and I'll toss it up on the screen as I'm reading through here. There were 7 different factions that were in use here, but there were 41 of the 48 defenses that are on this map outside of the bubble. I can't look in the bubble, so I don't know what's in there, but 41 of the 48 defenses that were in use outside the bubble were from 3 different factions. And I bet if you're a GvG player, you can guess which ones they were, but we're going to go through it right now. So we'll start from the bottom. We'll work towards the top. The least common defense here, actually tied for the least common defense, is the Watchguard faction. There was an Ingrid team. Most of the time, there are a lot of Ingrids in here. Most of the time, she's being deployed as an Arbiter. Surprise, surprise. But there was one singular Watchguard team. My team is actually, the team I just showed you that went 6-0, actually a Watchguard team as well. So very competitive. I did like that. But there was only one of them in this map. There was also, tied for the least common, was a Cultist team. A single cultist team with Morgan. It was a good team that we struggled against. But we also struggled against most of their teams because, like I said, big gap between us and them. And then there were 2 Piercer teams with Eovar as lead. Solid teams as well, of course, but only 2 of them. Only 3 Chaotic teams. That's next up. Surprising to me, honestly. I thought there would be more Chaotic teams. But, you know, Valderon, not as in vogue, at least not as a Lord in the way that I had seen him in previous seasons. I can't speak to this level in the GvG rankings, so I don't know if that's a departure from last season. I do know I saw him and Chaos teams quite a bit more last season than this, but, you know, it is what it is. And we're in the top 3 right now, and this is where, like I said, 41 of the 48 defenses were in these 3 factions. And this is, in my mind, the core of the problem. So, 9 teams were Esotericists. And I think 201, well, I know 201, they were all Cyrus-led. Their team comps were very similar. Most of them had Anora, they had Ymiric, and they had Boreas. Or, if not Boreas, somebody else, but almost all of them had Anora and Ymiric. Nightmare teams, 13 of them throughout here. They were number 2. The second most common faction seen, 13 of them. Structurally, all very, very similar. Finally, coming in at the most common, you guessed it, the Arbiters. That's right, Praetus is still king. Ingrid is his loyal, trusty sidekick. I hate this, guys. I really, really hate this. Let's go take a look at some of the teams in here, and I'll show you what we're talking about. So here we go. This is the most common. This is like if you were doing a random sampling, this is what you would be looking at right here, is some combination of a Torador team with Ajax, Hatsut, probably Carnelian, maybe Ardea. Ardea might be swapped in for like a Ymiric or an Arrogance or something like that. But this is, I'd say, the Torador, the Hatsut, and the Ajax are almost ubiquitous amongst these Nightmare teams. You'll see either a Lily, which Lily's in the other team right now, so she can't be. But there's 2 healers that get used. It's Lily and Carnelian, so one or the other. And then you'll see some kind of long-range damage dealer, ground-based damage dealer, like a fighter. And so all of these teams are very, very similar. Arbiters, you got Praetus, obviously. He is there is no Alicia that I have seen so far. Maybe at some point in the future we'll see more of her, but I don't think at this level we will. So you got Praetus. You have got obviously Ingrid, and then it really doesn't matter all that much. You've got some tank here. It could be Regulus. It could be Broke here, like it is right here. Yeah, that's less important. You've got another long single tile width damage dealer in Dahlia, and then you've got your fatal damage saving healer in Lily. While it's either her or Carnelian. Let's just take another look. We did Stronghold. We'll do one from each one here. You've got Cyrus in place of the Brokir, so he's a solid tank. But again, Lily, we've got, of course, Praetus and Ingrid as the kind of anchors of this team. And then you've got a Ymir in there. So solid as well. This is, I randomly picked the one cultist team that is in here, but you're going to see that a lot of the heroes that I was just talking about are in here as well. Look, Lily, Carnelian, those are the two healers. We see Brokir is in there, obviously, as the best tank in the game, who, regardless of faction, in my mind anyway, aside from maybe Cyrus. I don't know. They do kind of different things, but as far as unyielding is concerned, unyielding tanks, Brokir is the best one, and he does kind of supersede faction. You got a Nora, who is just a beast in GvG. She is so goddamn good. But there's just so many of the same heroes. Let's see here. Let's look at History Teacher. We've got, again here, Esoteric's team. There are 9 of them in here, and they're all very similar to this. You got Ezrin in this case. So no, we've got a little variation from the healers here. There's no Lily in this comp. Ezrin does fit in with the faction. Ezrin also, he doesn't prevent fatal damage, but he does prevent being one-shot. Like the maximum you can take is 60% damage, which really just ties in so obnoxiously with Cyrus's skill set. And then you've got the Arbiter team up here, which again, you've got, as always, you've got Praetus and you've got Ingrid in here. Brokir again. It's the same champions over and over again. Let's go to Stronghold 4. You want to kind of show off another Nightmare team. Here we go. Here's another. We got Torador. We got Hotsit. We got Ajax. We've got, it's like it's all this stuff. Carnelian is in there. Lily's the other healer on the other one. We've got this Arbiter team with Praetus and with Ingrid. And, the thing is, I don't want to be acting like this is just a Celestials I almost called them Celestials main. This is just an Eternals thing. This is not just because they are one of the most stacked guilds in the game right now. It's not just about that, because we saw similar things to this in pretty much every guild that we face in Overlord. It may not be to this degree. The point I'm trying to make is that there's just like no variation in these Guild Wars matches anymore. There is a clear set of best units. There is a very clearly defined meta. It has been the same for 2.5 seasons at this point. It's not changed basically since Ingrid came out, and I think you can make the argument even before then it was pretty well established. But I'm just tired of it. And the problem for me personally, as an endgame player, is that this is the game mode that I want to play the most. But I can't compete with these guys, and I get tired of facing these same stacked teams again that almost everybody who's been playing for as long as you need to have been playing in order to be an Overlord, and most of the people have some variation of these heroes that they can toss in, and it really kills the fun. It kills the fun, MOONTON. I don't know what I'm supposed to do at Endgame right now. What am I supposed to do? This is supposed to be the uncapped, build your account to compete against other people game mode that motivates you to continue playing. And I just don't know what I'm supposed to do, because if this isn't it, then what else am I doing? You killed Guild Boss 2 by making it super accessible and easy, not to mention dumping a bunch of heroes specifically designed for that game mode. I think Epilogue is kind of like the last bastion right now of difficult content in this game. Arena, I know some of you love it. I think it's a joke. It's just not. It's not an engaging. I know there are a lot of people that agree with me. I know some of you disagree, and I'm not knocking you. Love what you love. I'm not trying to tell you otherwise. But good God, this is just. I don't know what I'm working towards in this game anymore. If this is the state of it, I don't know why I'm doing this. Because I don't want to be in a state where every single week I am attacking the same goddamn teams. I've got some ideas too. Ban certain heroes or certain factions each week. Make people build new defenses. Keep things fresh that way. It'd be great. You can make it player voted on. That would be great too. I'd love to see players get some input on this. You could shorten the seasons. You could, honestly, I really like the Gladiator Gauntlet format where we only had 4 attacks, where we could only attack each defense once. I really like that a lot. I think that was a much, much better way to go about it. It was less time intensive. But I think that most people who have been playing this game for over a year, unless they are the kind of people that want to just sit there and farm, then they have some kind of thing that they're competing at the end game, whether it's GvG, whether it's trying to increase their score in Guild Boss 2, Guild Boss 1, that kind of thing, codexes, that kind of stuff. But you can't just let things stagnate. You need to fix what's there rather than just pushing out new heroes. And speaking of new heroes, when was the last time that we got a game changer to shake up the meta? It was Ingrid. And then everybody complained, and they've been putting out mediocre heroes ever since. Mediocre or just very niche heroes that are good at one thing, but not good at a lot of things. There were no heroes that we were just looking at that have come out since Ingrid. None of them. Ymirit's the other one that was in there that came out right before Ingrid did. But other than that, no new heroes since what? She was in mid to early July, I think. I think she was mid-July. She was right after all the anniversary stuff. Anyway, guys, if you did make it to the end here, I do appreciate you tuning in. I'm sorry if this was, over the top, but this is just super frustrating for me. I don't love putting out this kind of video. I don't love being kind of like I don't know, the word sourpuss is coming to mind. It must mean I'm over 40. Like, I don't mean to be, just over here just whining at you. And I'm not whining because I lost, which I did. Again, 0-7 this week. I have been frustrated with this game mode for a long time. If you don't believe me, you go back and you watch some of my GvG content for Season 5. Almost every single week, I'm bitching about it. But this is not a new thing. This is not because I had a bad day. This is because, and I know that many of you feel the same way, this is because this is supposed to be the endgame content, and it is not living up to what it should be. At MOONTON, what is the path that we are on right now? Why are we investing? We had this summon thing, and now we're just putting out more heroes. Like, we found out that apparently RNG was not really RNG for the first year of the game, and now you're just putting out more heroes. There's no new content to conquer really. I don't know. That's my spiel. I'm going to stop right there. I could keep going forever. Thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please do like and subscribe. I'm not going anywhere for right now, but I don't know how much longer I can take this. If this goes away, then why am I playing? I make content because I play. I don't play to make content. If that makes sense. So, good luck, y'all. I hope you're having more fun with this than I am. I will catch you all next time.